In the summer of my third year, my family moved into a house built in 1899. I still remember how much I loved every corner of that house. I enjoyed sliding down the banister of the staircase, intoxicated by the descent and the height. I loved the music of the floors creaking under my feet. I was very young, but already I felt at home in this abode of the past. I had found my home. My parents furnished the rooms shrouded in history with their antiques treasure, family memories, and other pieces unhurted over time. The rosewood furniture, my mother's square grand piano, which traveled from its distant year 1875, with its legs wrapped in bunches of grapes and little dolphins dancing along the pedal stand. The antique green china cabinet, where rested in a soft twilight the old porcelain and the old rose tea set that I loved, and the wonderful chromed wood stove on which we browned good fresh bread. My love was born, the love of the delicacies of all things old. I used to watch films with my mother that took me back in time, Gone with the Wind, Sissy, and so many others. As soon as I learned to read, I devoured the novels of Lucy Maud Montgomery, Louisa May Alcott, La Comtesse de Ségur. Later, the classics of English literature and poetry took me into a world of wonders. I still keep preciously these books that rocked my childhood and my youth. When I was 13, a neighbor's great aunt passed away at the noble age of 93. She had lived all her life in her birthplace, a discreet lady, single and childless. She lived her entire life in this same house where her parents did establish their home at the beginning of their union at the end of the 19th century. This neighbor, who knew my love for old things, invited me to come and see her great-aunt's house. I went there one morning without too much expectation. I was transported as soon as the door of this wonderfully preserved little cottage was open. Time seemed to have stood still, from the windows framed with lace to the wall coverings, from the faded colors to the old switches. Everything seemed frozen, a fabulous picture, a window on this era that I cherished. A religious community which inherited the aunt's belongings had removed the objects and pieces of furniture they wanted, but there was much left, living in the now silent place. I remember going through each room as in a cathedral, deeply moved. There was a soul in this house. There was the echo of life, of the fleeing years. Our neighbor told me, to my absolute delight, that I could choose whatever I wanted. The family having refused these old dusty things, we brought home so many precious treasures: suitcases, clothing, photographs, ephemeras, notebooks, papers, boxes containing 1,000 wonderful objects. I spent hours, weeks, leafing through these papers, exploring these magical objects. I have always treasured them, and often, on quiet days, I sit and I look at them. They are as gentle now to treasure as they once were. This is how I have carried the love of old things to this day, firmly anchored in my heart. Witnesses, they carry in them the memory of passing time, our history. The story is what founds us deeply, builds us, and gives us perpetuity. This past of mine has led me to this adventure, undertaken between the pages of this magazine, Chronicle of the Passage of Time. The Forget Me Not Chronicle was born between the strange days of 2020, in this distraught time we are passing through. I am from my time, a time without borders, and I believe that existence is made up of small pieces that are linked together, like the pearls of these precious necklaces made from jewels from the sea. We are a whole in time and in space. To deny the past is to deny one's deep identity. We are made of shadow and light, war and peace, laughter and tears. We are an amalgamation of past, present, and future. We will make more mistakes, and we will do more wonders, and we will grow and shine, because we are the human miracles that we are. Now, let's enter the new kingdom of loveliness, delicacy, and love, a gracious society of ladies of heart, the Forget Me Not Chronicle, quoting this marvelous heroine. "We are rich," said Anne staunchly. "We are as happy as queen, and we all got imaginations. Look at that sea, all silver and shallow and vision of things not seen. We couldn't enjoy its loveliness any more if we had millions of dollars and ropes of diamonds." Lucy Maud Montgomery, Anne of Green Gables.